Ahaha. Maybe something is happening. Tag friends. Let's just see what happens there. Oh, I'm not doing that. Just come back out of there. Already. How do we go back? Let's go back to there. Right, that's a good start. Tried to do something and didn't really know how it was working. So let's try and share this to a group, and we're going to try and share it into the Mind Hub. So I can't see what the hell's happening with this. Write a message. No, I'm not going to write a message. This is all exciting. Learning about modern technology. So apparently we've got one live on at the moment. So just say hi so I know who you are. And then we'll try and get started on what we're doing. Oh, we've got 2 on. Things are going crazy. Got 3 on. The world is going mad. Say hi. I'll shout your name out. The purpose of this live tonight is because life is getting more and more complicated with the way that everything's going, everything that's in the press, and everything is coming down on us, and everything's getting heavy, and people are getting confused with what they can do. How can they make their lives better? And it's just really depressing for a lot of people. So the aim of this session that I'm doing tonight is to try and give you some answers that you can think about, and hopefully make improvements to your life, and move things forward. So what I want to talk to you about today is something called self-image. Self-image, it's a big subject. It's a massive subject, and in all the personal development world, everybody's always talking about self-image, but how many of you actually know what the self-image is, what it does, how it works, how it can work for us, and how it can work against us? Because our self-image is what's deep inside us, what we really think deep down inside of us. Our self-image is the key to human personality and also behaviour. Our personality and behaviour is completely controlled by our self-image. It's a lot bigger than that though, okay? Because your self-image is also going to set your boundaries. And when we're talking about your boundaries, these are the boundaries as to what you think you can achieve and what you think you can't achieve, okay? Your self-image is going to rationalise with you, and it's going to give you all the reasons why you can't do something or why you shouldn't do something. So the self-image is going to be holding us back, and it's going to believe what we can and can't do. Okay, so if you have a belief that you can't do something, it doesn't matter how many books you read, how many tapes you listen to, how many YouTube clips you watch. If you believe that you can't do something, that's exactly what's going to happen, because it's the belief deep down inside yourself. So we need to be able to define what is actually going on with our self-image. So here's something for you to think about. We've got 2 sorts of self-image. We've got the one that we talk to ourselves about, and then we've got the one that we project to the world. So you may have come across as being really powerful and enthusiastic and the life and soul of the party, but deep inside you might be saying to yourself, I'm a fraud, I can't do this. You might be saying, I don't deserve to be here, I'm out of my depth, I'm not qualified to do this. That is the deep internal self-image that you've got that's not in alignment with the public image that you're putting out there. We only have to look at a lot of our wonderful performers that entertain us all the time, and a lot of these people have massive issues that we don't see. We see them go out on stage, but we don't see them before when they might be throwing up in a bucket. where they're worried about if they're going to die on stage or not. They just get out there, they do it, and we go, wow, they're wonderful. And then when they get off the stage, they're crumbling, absolutely crumbling. All they're worried about is, did I look okay? Did I reach the people? And inside, they're questioning themselves. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And the same can happen at what I would class as the normal lifestyle. The normal person that's going out and having a job and he's working really hard, she's working really hard to try and make a living. Whether you're self-employed, working for an employer, we're all in these positions where we've got this little voice deep inside us that's holding us back. That's your self-image. How do we change the self-image? To change your self-image, you've first of all got to believe that you can change your self-image. And as I alluded to earlier, there's only one person that can change your self-image, and that's you. You are the only person that can change your self-image. Do you want to change your self-image? I certainly want to change mine. And the self-image that I'm creating for myself now is a mixture of all the people that have influenced me over my life, all the people who are still influencing me now, and those little traits of theirs that I like. I don't want to be a copy of anybody, but there are some brilliant leaders out there, and I would love to have their personal touch. I would love to have their compassion. I would love to have their charisma. I would love to be able to walk into a room and people just gravitate to me, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help people. So all those little traits are now starting to become a part of the person that I am now becoming. I am now living a different sort of life to the life that I was living 20 or 30 years ago, to the life that I was living 40 years ago. Dare I say it, even 50 years ago. Could even go a little bit further than that. I'm not going to. So where does all this start? Where does all this self-image start? It starts when we're little kids. It can start with a really innocuous comment. I'll tell you a little story. Let me just have a quick drink. I'm going a bit dry. Lovely little story. I was living near Manchester Airport at the time, and I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and my beautiful elder sister went in and told me mum that she'd heard me saying bloody, a swear word. I said bloody, and my mother was distraught. She gave me a right rollicking, and she told me to go out into the front garden and shout bloody, 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 bloody at the top of my voice so all the neighbours could hear how common I was. And I was crying my eyes out. Here I am, I'm 62 now, and I can still remember it. It bit really hard. I can remember the people that said to me, you'll never amount to anything. I can remember the person that said, oh, you'll never make a professional footballer. You'll never make an international runner. I can remember these things. I can remember the teacher said, you've got so much potential, but you're lazy. Does any of that resonate with you? Did you only have people telling you how wonderful you were? Or did you have people telling you all your faults? And when we start emotionalising those thoughts and we take them on board and we start to believe that, hey, what if they're true? They might not be true. They're probably not true. Just because I was a naughty boy at school doesn't mean to say that I'm a naughty boy for the rest of my life. But I've worn that jacket for all those years that I was a naughty lad. I told my parents when I was 15, 16 years old, going through doing my O-levels, and I said to them, I'm going to prove to you that I can be successful without getting any qualifications. Now, why did I say that at that time? Well, the reason that I was saying it, this is what I believed, was because I didn't want to do any revision. I just wanted to go out and play football, so I wasn't bothered about the exams. But I thought if I gave them an answer like that, they might actually believe me. They didn't believe me, and I didn't do very well in my exams. I've done well since, and I am successful. So I guess in a way, I proved that I was right. But what if when I said that, I actually believed that I was going to become really successful without any qualifications, just to prove that it could be done? Because you see, when we go through school, all we do is we learn stuff in a book. And then we go and do an exam and we regurgitate all that information. And then when we give that information to these people, if we've given the right answers, they give us a lovely little certificate. There you go, lovely little certificate. There's one on the wall. What's that doing? Yeah, you go through university possibly. I didn't go to university. I never wanted to go to university. But you go to university, and if you're doing a 4 or 5 year degree, it might cost you 40 or 50,000 pounds to get that piece of paper that you've strived for, a Bachelor of Science, a Bachelor of Arts. But then you've got to go out and get a job. Whereabouts are we taught about success? And all this comes back to self-image, where we can change our self-image. We can change our outer self-image. This is what we're projecting to you right now. Okay? But the real self-image that we've got to change is not the actor going onto the stage or the comedian going onto the stage. We've got to change the story that's going on in our heart, that's going on in our head. Now, how do we do that? It takes a long time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes practice. And we just make really good affirmations, and we drip feed them, and we use repetition, and we refuse to accept the things that we had previously believed about ourselves and then later on found out were a load of rubbish. So we've got to change the story that's going on in the head. Now, here's something that's really interesting for you. This little book here, Psycho-Cybernetics. It's written by a guy called Dr. Maxwell Maltz. He was a plastic surgeon in the early 60s. This book's nearly as old as I am. He discovered that when he did plastic surgery on people, changed the nose, pinned the ears back. When I was a kid, I wanted to have my ears pinned back because everybody used to take the mickey out of me. Okay? Used to call me the FA Cup. All that sort of thing. And that affected me. It hurt me. Yeah? So, where am I going with this? When we've got all that stuff going on, the way that the self-esteem works, the way that the subconscious mind works, it is, as this book is called, Psycho-Cybernetics. Psycho is the mind. Cybernetics is a combination of animal and machinery. Okay? So think about yourself as a machine. Think about yourself as an automatic pilot. And the automatic pilot is going to keep you going in the direction that your self-image believes. So we can start to change things. And we're now going off the course that the body believes, that the self-image believes, but the cybernetic system in it, the autopilot, is going to bring you straight back on course where you always were. That's a little bit scary because we feel that we haven't got any control over things. Think about trying to break habits. Why is it we always stop after a wee while? It's because of this self-image. It's because of the psycho-cybernetics that's going on inside your body. It's like a machine. A machine, another sort of machine, is a computer. You may have heard the term garbage in, garbage out. We're the programmer of our computer. We're the controller of our computer. And if we're giving it the wrong information by telling us all the things that we don't like about ourselves, guess where we're going to go? We're going to go down. We've got to start telling ourselves the good things, and we've got to start believing it. Another way to think about it, the way to think about what's going on in the mind, think about yourself as a thermostat. Okay? There's a thermostat in this room. You can't see it in a minute, but there's a thermostat in this room. We've got another one downstairs. We set it to a temperature. And if it drops below that temperature, it puts the heating on, and it will bring the temperature up until it reaches the bottom figure that we're working to. and then it'll turn the heating off. And it'll stay at that temperature, and then it'll start dropping down, and the heating will come back on again, bring it back up. I'm a Yorkshireman. I have the level of the temperature set a little bit higher than my girlfriend wants it to be set at, because I'm a Yorkshireman. Okay, put a jumper on, we can put a jacket on. We don't have to have it on when it's really warm. But a thermostat is how we're working. I want you to think about something else. I want you to think, maybe you've had problems with weight. I've found myself, I put a little bit of weight on just recently, over the last 3 or 4 months. I know I've worked with a lot of people that have had weight issues. I know a lot of people that have been on this diet, that diet, and they've worked this program, and they lose weight and they look really good and they're fantastic, and you see them going to Weight Watchers and Slimmers World and all this sort of thing, and they lose the weight. But this little thermostat that we've got inside us, all of a sudden it realises you've lost 10 pounds or you've lost 2 stone, whatever it is, whatever the figure it is. So the thermostat says, hey, we've got to find it. So you put the weight back on, and you might put a little bit more weight back on, and then you'll lose that little bit of weight and bring you back to exactly where you were. That's why people have yo-yo diets. Why people can't lose the weight. Why people can't change the habits. Why drug addicts can't kick the habit of the drugs. Alcoholics can't kick the habit of the alcohol, because they've become programmed, but they've programmed themselves for the habit. But we can change our habit. Hi, Anna. We can change our habit with work. It doesn't have to be hard work, because if we tell ourselves it's going to be hard work, guess what? It's going to be hard work. But we can start to change things. Yeah? We can start to change things for ourselves by playing with it, by having fun with it, and just reminding ourselves, hi Anna, laugh out loud, not the drugs but weight. Yeah, get that. Okay, so we have fun with it. We don't put pressure on ourselves. We reward ourselves when we're going well. We start to change the image. We become the person that we want to be, the person that's going to be successful. We start living our lives as though we're already at whatever level it is that you want to be. Now you might say, that's a load of crap. How can you do that? I'm 15 stone, but I want to be 10. How can I live my life as though I'm 10 stone when I'm 15 stone? No, don't misunderstand me. You've got to believe it up here. You've got to start living it up here. You live your life as though you're already where you want to get to. And then eventually, that paradigm, these beliefs will start to be changed by drip, 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 drip. You're going to drip feed them into your soul. You're going to put emotional attachment to them. You're going to change the story. Your self-image is going to start to rise. And when your self-image starts to rise, what's going to happen? You're going to start seeing opportunities that weren't there before. People are going to start noticing you. Your life is going to be feeling far, far happier. And you're going to be getting the results that you want far more often. Now, shit's still going to happen. But when the shit happens, you're going to be able to deal with it in a far better way than you would have done previously. So, self-image, self-worth, self-belief, all about self, the person. We are the controller. You are the captain of your ship. You decide where you're going to take it. And make sure that you're taking it to the place where you ultimately want to get to. Doing the things that you ultimately want to do. Doing the things that you feel you deserve to do, not the things that you're just going to settle for. Because when we're born, this might freak one or two of you out. When we're born, we're perfect. We're made in God's image. We're perfect. And through those early years, we start to get programmed because the brain is open. We've got no control over the brain. Whatever's going on around us goes into the brain. And then we go into the school environment where people are trying to control us, and we lose the ability to imagine things. And we then start conforming to what we've been told is the way to go ahead. Why do we conform? Why aren't we brave enough to go out and do the things? It's because of the paradigm. It's because of those beliefs. It's because of your self-image. You're never going to see an Olympic champion with a poor self-image with the sport that he's doing. He might have a poor self-image in other areas of his life. It's about getting that balance right through all areas of your life. Now, I've said quite a lot today, and I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you. And the whole purpose of putting these little lives together on a Friday night, I'm going to be doing them every single night, is to show you that you can change your situation if the situation that you've got right now is one that you feel that you want to change. If you're living the perfect life, hey, I applaud you. I think that's wonderful. But you know what I really know? Most people who say they are living the perfect life actually don't believe it. But they convince themselves that they are, so they don't have to put themselves out of the comfort zone. And they're settling for. But if I was to say to you, you can have whatever you want. You can have whatever life you want. You can look however you want. You can be whatever weight you want. You can do whatever sport you want. You can earn as much money as you want. Choose which country you want to live in. Choose what charities you want to support. Are you doing that right now? If you're doing all those things right now, I don't think you're going to be watching me. Because you're going to be doing the things that you really want to do. The reason you're watching is because you want to make some changes in your life. And if you want to make some changes in your life, I can help you. I can really help you. And the reason I know that is because I've been working on myself for quite a few years now, and I've been working with some marvellous people, and they're still helping me today. And my life has changed beyond all recognition. And I'm really starting to love life. And I want everybody who I know to love life in the same way that I love life. So, pop along, find the Mind Hub, my Facebook group, get yourself into the Mind Hub. I'm putting information in there 2 and 3 times a day. You can keep in touch, and then you can learn as much as you want. You might have some brilliant ideas yourself, and you can share them with the group and help somebody else. And you know, when you help other people, it makes you feel good about you too. Everybody wins. A rising tide floats all ships. Anyway, I'm just waffling now. It's been really good fun. I've loved speaking to you, and I can't wait to read all the comments and get back to you. And if you want help, just reach out. There, see that? See my thumb? Got a proper one on that side. Just reach out. Just reach out. We can help you, and I want to help you. Anyway, I'm going now. I'm going to press this little button here that says finish, and I'm going to see what happens. See you on the other side. See you next Friday, 7 o'clock. Ain't it great?